The struggles of the thumbnail. Oh, I'm losing it. Oh, shoot. Just dropped everything. We're good. Hello, my bookish lovelies. I just finished dropping a bunch of books, but welcome to my book haul. So, in the month of November, Target online once again ran that buy two, get one free thing, and they had Amazon type prices, and so I was just like, it actually averaged out to being about $8 or $9 per book, which is actually really good for a lot of these. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it because there's a few. So I actually picked up the City of Stairs trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. He is the same one that has written Foundry Side. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful these spines go together. Oh, I love the spines. These are very aesthetically pleasing. So we have the first one, which is City of Stairs, City of Blades, and City of Miracles. I've seen these around a lot, but when I saw like that I could get them for a really good price on Target, I decided to go ahead and take the plunge. The ratings on Goodreads for these have been really high, but I'm going to read you guys the synopsis of this because this will do a much better job of explaining it, considering the fact I haven't read these yet than I would. The city of Bulkov once wielded the powers of the gods to conquer the world, enslave and brutalizing millions until its divine protectors were killed. Now Bulkov's history has been censored and erased, its citizens subjugated, but the surreal landscape of the city itself, forever altered by the thousands of miracles its guardians once worked upon, stands as a haunting reminder of a former supremacy. Into this broken city steps Sara Devani. Officially, the unassuming young woman is just another junior diplomat sent by Bulkov's oppressors. Unofficially, she is one of her country's most accomplished spies, dispatched along with her terrifying secretary, Sigrid, to solve a murder. But as Sara pursues the killer, she starts to suspect that the beings who ruled this terrible place may not be as dead as they seem, and that Bulkov's cruel reign may not yet be over. A tale of vast conspiracies, dead gods, and buried histories. City of Stairs is at once a gripping spy novel and a stunningly original work of fantasy. I have been really feeling spies lately, especially like with me reading the In the Company of Killers series. I have 2 more books to go with that, by the way. So I have been dying to get my hands on these, so I'm really, really excited. I feel like I'm going to love these, like just completely, and I cannot wait. Okay, and the next book that I got is The Deep by River Solomon. I ended up actually finding this on Amazon secondhand already. I know this is a new release, but the fact that I found it for like $9, I think it was, already, I'm just really excited about it. It's apparently like a mermaid. It's a very short book. It's not long at all, but I heard like that it has non-binary rep, and I am very curious about learning more about non-binary individuals. So I felt like this was going to be just an amazing book to get my hands on. So yes, I've never read anything by River Solomon before, but I'm really excited to see this. And you know, it's not as, this is about as big as the Wayward Children series. Like I said, it's not very big at all, but I'm just so excited because it just seems so amazing, and it's going to be a very quick read. So as part of the other books that I got for the buy two get one free, because I kind of bought a few, I ended up getting 3, 4, 5, and 6 of fruit baskets because I really want to dive into this series. I'm getting, hopefully like before like the end of the year, with everything going on for Vlogmas, like I have been editing like a mad woman, so like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to actually get into reading this month, but I saw these, and you know, book 3 by itself is usually $16. I got it for what averaged out to be like $9, which is an incredible price. So I just kind of went ahead and picked up at least half of the series so that I had a good place to get myself started. Honestly, like I did enjoy the first one quite a bit. I love the characters, and I'm really hoping to just dive into this because I think it's going to be brilliant. Not to mention, these are the collector's editions, so they do have the beautiful additional prints inside of them. For example, so we have this like right here, and all of them have like a little bit of a color print to them, so they're just really, really awesome. So we have Fruit Baskets Volume 3, Fruit Baskets Volume 4, Fruit Baskets Volume 5, and Fruit Baskets Volume 6. This book that I picked up is by Laura Ruby. It's called 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All. I'm kind of wondering, I'm thinking that this might be another portal fantasy. When Frankie's mother died and her father left her and her siblings at an orphanage in Chicago, it was supposed to be only temporary, just long enough for him to get back on his feet and be able to provide for them once again. That's why she is not prepared for the day when he arrives for his weekend visit with a new woman on his arm and out-of-state train tickets in his pocket. Now Frankie and her sister Toni are abandoned to the orphanage, two young, unwanted women doing everything they can to survive. And as the embers of the Great Depression are kindled into the fires of World War II, and the shadows of injustice, poverty, and death walk the streets in broad daylight, Frankie must find something worth holding on to in the ruins of this shattered America. Every minute of every day spent wondering if the life she is able to carve out will be enough. I will admit I do not know if it will be, but I will be watching, waiting to find out. That's what ghosts do. So no, not a portal fantasy, historical fiction. I read this synopsis like before I bought it initially, but I don't know. The door, this gives me like kind of like portal fantasy vibes because of the door on the front of it. So, but I'm really excited about this. I've heard a lot of good things about this. The reviews for this have been amazing, so I'm definitely excited about this one as well. This was also part of that Target buy two get one free deal. Next book that I got that has been really hyped up around BookTube is American Royals by Katharine McGee. I have heard that this has a female-female love story in it, and I'm really excited about this. I think from like what I remember right, I think this kind of had more of a red, white, and royal blue, but like women sort of vibe to it. Not new adult, of course. I don't believe this is a new adult at all, but I'm really curious about it. I really did enjoy Red, White, and Royal Blue, so I was kind of curious about this too. And I love the representation for it. So the power, the drama, the intrigue, the crown. This is a story of American royals. So, and it's been blurbed by Sarah J. Maas. Inventive, fresh, and deliciously romantic American Royals is an absolute delight. This has also gotten a ton of really good reviews. The next book has also gotten a lot of really good reviews, and it was actually like going around a lot. It's called Slay by Brittany Morris, and this is actually supposed to be, I believe, a science fiction. By day, 17-year-old Kira Johnson is an honors student, a math tutor, and one of the only black kids at the Jefferson Academy. But at home, she joins hundreds of thousands of black gamers who duel worldwide as Nubian personas in the secret multiplayer online role-playing game called Slay. No one knows Kira is the game developer, not her friends, not her family, not even her boyfriend Malcolm, who believes video games are a distraction to keep the black man from becoming great. But when a teen in Kansas City is murdered over a dispute in the Slay world, news of the game reaches mainstream media, and Slay is labeled a racist, exclusionist, violent hub for thugs and criminals. Even worse, Kira faces potentially being sued for anti-white discrimination, and an anonymous troll infiltrates the game, threatening to harass all the players and take over. Driven to save the only world in which she can be herself, Kira must preserve her secret identity and harness what it means to be unapologetically black in a world intimidated by blackness. But can she protect her game without losing herself in the process? This sounds really, really good. I saw Bow Ties and Books really gushing over this, and as a reader trying to expand my mind and my reading, I felt like this would be a good place to go with that. So I ended up getting this because, and not to mention, can we just like gush over the cover for a second? I mean, this cover is just amazing. And I love like how it kind of smears like almost like into the digital, like she's she's kind of blending in like to the digital. I just love this. So I actually accidentally got 2 copies of this book because of the fact that one of them came in my owl crate. But I have to say that I'm really pleasantly surprised. So this is the regular edition of Winterwood, and this was one of my most anticipated releases for November, and I'm super excited. This is by the same author that wrote The Wicked Deep, which I know like a lot, like there was like YouTube's kind of divided about The Wicked Deep. I know like a lot of people either really loved it or really weren't big on it. So I personally enjoyed The Wicked Deep. I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked the whimsy. Is it the best book that was ever written? No, it's not the best book that was ever written. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I really enjoyed it. So I was really hoping for that same level of enjoyment of Winterwood. Now, this is the regular edition. The Owl Crate edition, which I am positively in love with, is white. And it's gorgeous. and it has blue sprayed edges. So look at these. They are just perfect, and the blue like just goes so perfectly like with it. It stands out so amazingly well, and I just love it so much. These books are just gorgeous. Let's just go ahead and also discuss what's underneath the dust jacket. So the black has these black beautiful indents, just like the Wicked Deep did. But the white one is actually the opposite, and it has blue instead. So everything about this book is definitely distinct from the regular copy. And of course, the one from Owlcrate is signed by the author. So yes, absolutely amazing and incredible. Owlcrate really, I love Owlcrate. So I mean, like, they keep doing this, and you know what, the fact like that now, like this is actually the very first book that they've ever included in one of their boxes to have sprayed edges, and I'm hoping they continue on with the sprayed edges vibe, because if you guys know me, I am a sprayed edges fiend. Like, I love them so much. They're so aesthetically pleasing. That concludes my Target binge. Anyway, they were a good buy. So this was a book that 10-Minute Books actually talked about in actually mentioned in my last comment, like when I did my most anticipated releases video. And I feel so ashamed that I forgot this, because this is one that I really enjoyed, and I actually sat down. One of the most beautiful things about Goodreads, I know like Goodreads kind of get some shit sometimes, but one of the things that I love about Goodreads is the fact that they actually have areas, like for most of their books, like where you can actually sample them to see if you even like the writing style. And I sampled this book, and I was like, oh my god. So 10-minute reviews actually reminded me about War Girls by Toshi Onyabuchi. I think I said that right. She's the same author of Beasts of Night, which I never read that book, but this is actually kind of a futuristic book about warrior girls, of course, like war girls, and they have robotic arms, and like they're almost like very cyborgish, and so like they work, you know, like, and they train, and they, you know, like, they're war girls. Past that, I'm not really too sure. Like, I read a little bit of this, and from what I read of this, like the first chapter or so, I really enjoyed it. Like, it's very atmospheric, and I feel like this is going to be like a very addictive science fiction with black rep book, and I'm so excited. So I definitely want to get to this soon. Like, I've been feeling like a lot of science fiction lately. So this next part is a little excessive, I'll admit it, but honestly, like, I got it because, you know, this is the last time I'm probably ever going to have an opportunity to get multiple copies of this. And while Winterwood was an accident of getting multiple copies, this was not. And they look exactly the same. I understand like that, but they're really not the same. So this is the regular version of The Toll by Neal Shusterman. This is the one they sell in this, like, pretty much everywhere. Like, this is the one they sold on Amazon, and I had pre-ordered it before I realized that there was all of these other special editions that were coming out. So this one, there's nothing really special about it. It's just the Toll book, and this is my annotated copy because I figured this would be the best copy to annotate. But we have this white one. I ended up getting the Owlcrate exclusive edition. So instead of the lettering being purple, it is green, and it's really hard to get a book signed by Neal Shusterman. But the Owlcrate edition actually had a signature-based one. But, so, I mean, like, the robes are slightly different, and, you know, the lettering's different and everything. So when I saw, like, that it was signed, I was really crazy about getting this. So I was really excited that I was able to, and I just love it. But then they announced the Barnes & Noble edition, which has annotated section-by-section chapters, which is essentially, like, it looks a lot like the Owlcrate edition, except the lettering is purple and raised, and it's not signed. But if you go to the back of this book, it's got in-depth points of annotation, like, right at the back. So this is definitely going to be something, like, for me, like, to kind of, like, dig into later, you know, and just kind of, like, you know, mull over everything. And very happy with the fact that this has annotations in it. Did I need 3 copies of The Toll? Absolutely not. Are they collectibles? Yes, they absolutely are. It happened, but I don't regret it at all, because, like, it's series, like, I love this series, like, so much. And I know this isn't a book, but I just have to share like this with you because Illumicrate has their pin club, which is by Fable and Black, and when they advertised for the Scythe pin, there's not enough Scythe merchandise in the world, and so yeah. This pin is like literally freaking everything. Like, it is gorgeous, it is perfect. This is like probably like my favorite pin I've ever received from any book box ever. It wasn't in a book box, this was actually a standalone pin and I ordered it, and you don't know what they look like until you get them, but I have to say, spot on, amazing, wonderful, perfect, incredible. So this book, I ended up getting River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. I found this one also secondhand on Amazon, which was amazing because sometimes it's, you know, like this is another new release that I was able to find secondhand and not have to pay like anywhere near full price for, which is a great thing like about being able to hunt some of these down. But this cover is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I am in love with this cover. Oh, yes, this is just, and I've been hearing so many good things about this too. 16-year-old Eva is a princess born with the magic of blood and marrow, a dark and terrible magic that hasn't been seen for generations in the vibrant but fractured country of Myre. Its last known practitioner was Queen Rhaena, who toppled the native Khmer royalty and massacred thousands, including her own sister, 5 generations ago, thus beginning the rival heir tradition. Living in Rhaena's long and dark shadow, Eva must now face her older sister Isa on her 17th name day in a battle to the death if she hopes to ascend to the ivory throne. Because in the Queendom of Myre, only the strongest, most ruthless rulers survive. But when Eva is attacked by an assassin just weeks before her name day, she discovers it isn't just her sister who wants her dead. Eva is forced to turn to a powerful Fae instructor and a mysterious and handsome Khmer prince for help in growing her magic into something to fear. Because despite the love she still has for her sister, Eva will have to choose Isa's death or her own. An enthralling adventure set in a lush, North African-inspired fantasy world, A River of Royal Blood heralds the arrival of an exciting new voice in YA. Okay, another amazing thing. So because I do intend on reading this series in 2020, I ended up going ahead and picking up Supernova because actually Amazon had it for a really good price. This is the third and final book in the Arch Enemies? No. Renegades series. Arch Enemies was the second book. This is the third book. I love these covers though, and I really loved Marissa Meyer's The Lunar Chronicles. So I'm really excited to get into these as well. Like, these have been super hyped. Everybody seems to love these and I'm really excited for it too. And now that the series is finished, I'll be able to binge it. And I love to binge series because, you know, like when you wait years or months like to read books in between, you kind of forget a lot. I love when I have a full series set out before me. So apparently I was kidding about those being the only books like that I bought from Target. I actually forgot that I had also picked up Dark Age by Pierce Brown. This is the second trilogy in the Red Rising trilogy. So they came out with a first trilogy and now they're on to the second one. So it's not really a trilogy anymore, like they just came out with 3 more books like that are in addition to this. And I'm waiting, of course, like on these as well, like until I can get all 3 of the books. I'm waiting for the last one, but I have been collecting them as I go, so that once they are released, I can just read them. And this is also another science fiction series, and I loved the Red Rising series. Like, it was really intense and amazing, and like really on the edge of your seat action. It's got like a lot of political and war moves, which I felt like I was just, I don't know, like I felt like really like zoned in like to the war element, like reading those books. And, you know, like the ruthlessness of war. And I love Darrow. Like, Darrow is just an amazing character, and he's very dynamic, and he has like, you know, love in his heart, but, you know, like he's mad about a lot of things. If you haven't read it, I'm not going to ruin it for you. But yeah, this is kind of a chunker of a book, but it's so beautiful. And this is another one of those books this year that had a snake on it. So another book that I ended up getting also was The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. This is actually a beautiful book, and it's a retelling of Guinevere and the King Arthur's tale from Guinevere's perspective. But if I remember right, I believe she is a shapeshifter. So it's got a big twist on the whole King Arthur legend. But first of all, this cover is gorgeous, but let's go ahead and look at the plain dust jacket. Can we just like drool over this for a second because this is gorgeous. Like I am so in love with this. This is also the beginning of a series as well. So I'm really excited to see like what she does with this. I mean, this should be amazing. I read her book, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, and I adore, and I mean adore, that book. I thought it was amazing and perfect. So the last 3 books that I have to talk about are adult fiction, and they are from the My Book of the Month Club. And I love My Book of the Month Club. Like, they have so many good selections and books that I've never heard of before. I probably would never have picked up, you know, had it not been for Book of the Month. I am no longer a Book of the Month YA affiliate because I didn't feel like I was getting enough out of the program, because I've already got a subscription to regular Book of the Month, and I really wanted to keep my regular Book of the Month subscription. So I'm not a YA affiliate anymore for Book of the Month, but I still love all of their adult books really big time. And even if you are subscribed to the adult Book of the Month, you still have access to the YA books, which is perfect because I love the fact that I have access to both of those. I usually always average about 3 books a month from them because, like, the first book's $14.99 and you get the additional 2 for $9.99, which is a steal. So the first book that I got is Get a Life, Charlie Brown. Love wasn't on her to-do list. This has a representation for chronic illness, and that's something you don't really see a lot in romance books, and I'm really glad they have that kind of representation, because those hidden illnesses like that you have, like those chronic illnesses, can sometimes be more debilitating because people think that, you know, everything's fine with you when it's actually not. So really excited about this book. I'm probably going to have to sit down and do like a time like where I really binge romance books, because I have a lot of romance books like that are really high in my TBR that I really want to get to. In the month of October, I read a ton of thrillers, which has really inspired me to kind of like look more into thrillers, like, and to not pass them by so readily, because I really had a lot of fun reading a lot of thrillers. And so I ended up getting Lisa Jewell's The Family Upstairs. I believe this is about a cult, and really that's all they had to say to me, was that it was about a cult, because it sounds very dark and spooky and thrillerish, and I kind of like am a little bit fascinated, you know, like with cults. I didn't like read, like when I was studying serial killers, like I didn't like super like get into Charles Manson or anything, which I kind of want to dig more into him with Helter Skelter or whatever. But I kind of like the idea like they have a cult in this. So the last book that I got is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. This book is an adult fiction. Lily and Madison were unlikely roommates and yet inseparable friends at their boarding school, but then Lillian had to leave the school unexpectedly in the wake of a scandal, and they've barely spoken since. Until now, more than 10 years later, when Lillian gets a letter from Madison's pleading for help. Madison's twin stepkids are moving in with her family, and she wants Lillian to be their caretaker. However, there's a catch. The twins spontaneously combust when they get agitated, flames igniting from their skin in a startling but beautiful way. Lillian is convinced Madison is pulling her leg, but it's the truth. Thinking of her dead-end life at home, the life that has consistently disappointed her, Lillian figures she has nothing to lose. Over the course of one humid, demanding summer, Lillian and the twins learn to trust one another and stay cool, while also staying out of the way of Madison's button-up politician husband. Surprised by her own ingenuity, yet unused to the intense feelings of protectiveness she feels for them, Lillian ultimately begins to accept that she needs these strange children as much as they need her, urgently and furiously. Couldn't this be the start of an amazing life she'd always hoped for? With knife-hot wit and a big tender heart, Kevin Wilson has written the best book yet, a most unusual story of parental love. This has been getting a lot of reviews. Like, this is actually, this book actually came out in October, and I hesitated to get this one because I wasn't sure how people would respond to it, but the overall response of this is kind of like a surrealist. It sounds like magical realism, kind of adult fiction magical realism book. This actually sounds really, really amazing, and it's gotten a lot of really good reviews, which I was kind of surprised about because this is a very unusual plot summary. So I'm gonna take a chance on it. Alright guys, that is everything. Oh, actually no, it's not everything. Sorry. My bad. Just kidding. So some of more of my special editions, I ended up getting the Night Circus. I ended up getting The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I'm currently still in the middle of this one at the time I'm filming this. I'm hoping to be done with this really soon because I only have about another less than 150 pages left. But it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and it's whimsical, and it's by the same author who wrote The Night Circus, Erin Morgenstern. But Then they also had the Waterstones exclusive edition, which is the UK edition, and this is also very gorgeous. Has these beautiful keys and a bee on it, which goes with everything, and the spine is also gorgeous. Then we have these beautiful end papers. And the cover, which is also gorgeous. I ended up getting the blue one. They had a few different ones, but I ended up getting the blue one. And then the back of this just has a giant key on it as well, and it's so pretty and I love it. I'm so glad like that I have like this. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition, and once again, you know, me and the sucker for having sprayed edges. That's just me. Also, given the fact that this is the 10-year anniversary of the Clockwork Angel, Illumicrate had an exclusive that sold out like within a very short period of time, which is the 10th anniversary edition of Clockwork Angel, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But look at those sprayed edges, like they're gears and they're gorgeous, and I love them so much. So this is actually like my favorite series by Cassandra Clare so far that I've read, and I went totally gaga over like this 10th anniversary edition, and more like to the point, like the sprayed edges are just absolutely perfect and they are beautiful. Alright guys, now I'm not kidding. We're done with this book haul. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, hit the little like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon if you guys want to receive emails every time I post. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching me, and I will see you guys again very soon.